Hello everybody. My name, as well as Lizzy-Jane Frankel, is Lizzy-Jane Grose. That's my professional name. I'm an artist. I'm also one of the volunteer directors for WREN, and we decided that it'd be good if all the directors had sort of areas of specialisation, and I ended up with art and events. I'm going to try and talk about two things in these 15 minutes. One is, why is it important that there is a place for arts in the renewable energy field? And the other is, why is it important that it comes from within? So, why is it important at all? Basically because I think we've all been hearing this morning, we need to change the debate. In the past, persuasion has been around things like climate change, about our future need for energy and finding new sources for energy, and basically about giving people money. Now, I don't think there's anything wrong with redistributing wealth, but we tend to get quite small pots when some new project gets in. So one thing I'd like you to think about is communities generating at scale and the income that that could then bring into a community. We've started with a very small community fund, which we've made open to all community projects in our area. And through doing that, we've discovered the huge amount of talent, imagination, dedication and skill that is in our community, what they call social capital. Now, we also know we have some of the best wind and sun in the whole country, in the southwest. So if you put that natural capital together with the social capital, anything is achievable. So our job is to win the debate. Now, to win the debate, we've first got to find new ways of looking at things. We've got to engage people's imaginations. We've got to shift the prism so that you're looking at things from a different end. In the past, I think the temptation has been to go at things head on, or to use facts and statistics. And frankly, I don't know about you, but I think you can find a fact or a statistic to back up anything you want to say, and people only tend to believe the ones that they want to believe. People who are against renewables have been very good at creating a music which is around destruction, desecration, blight. So I'm suggesting that we need to create a new music, that we need to perhaps go sideways at the problem and create a new mood, create our own background music. I think we also need to create a debate that people want to be part of. We heard from one of the two mics earlier that actually 80% of people just aren't engaged. So let's find a way to let people into the story, because I think a lot of people have opinions, but they don't necessarily have ways of expressing them. And I do think that with creativity, and if you are prepared to make a fool of yourself, you can make pretty much anything fun and engaging. So to sum up, why should the arts be part of renewables projects? Because we need to change the debate, we need to give people a way into the debate, and we need to create a debate that people want to be part of. The other thing I wanted to talk about is, why is it important that it comes from within? The arts are essentially about belief. For an artwork to be good, it's got to be convincing. And recently there's been a move in the arts away from making art which is about art towards a return to making art which is about something and which engages with real issues that are affecting people. So I think that's something to tap into, and that's something very exciting for creative practitioners. The locality, the coming from within the community is important, because one size doesn't fit all, and there isn't a blueprint that works in one place that will necessarily work in another place. And within every community there is expertise and there is creativity, all bar, I think, two very small exceptions of the images and the things I'm showing today, the poetry, the music, come from within my community. And by working with people locally, you will be working with people who understand local issues, who have connections. Their kids go to the school with other parents, they shop in the same shops. There's a knowledge and a trust there already. And also, because if we're going to push towards local ownership through local engagement, we need to make the debate locally. Sorry. So, I'm going to give you very quickly 4 different examples of projects we've done using creativity to engage things, and try and put across 4 principles that I think are important. One is to do things that give people pleasure. And I'm a firm believer that beauty is an important thing. So whenever we do something, we try to do it as well as possible. So we recently, about 18 months ago, introduced a local currency. Had great compliment from the printers, who were currency printers, who we sent the designs to, who said, fabulous to see something where people are drawing again. So that was really nice. We're going to do another one. That was a 25 REN note. We're going to do a 5 REN note where we put it out as a competition to young people to design the note. We've put out about £10,000 of our local currency to date. It is accepted in 50 local businesses. The photo at the top shows the very first REN note being spent in one of our local shops. We also last autumn put on an exhibition called Wadebridge Energy Futures, and the thinking behind that was not to say we're going to put up a wind turbine or we're going to put up a solar farm, what do you think? We've spent 3 years majoring on energy reduction and building trust in our community, and we wanted to start the debate from a much earlier stage than we've got this plan, let's do it. So we started off by looking at our town's past. What was energy production like where we were in the past? Well, there were wind pumps, there were water mills everywhere. There were 3 foundries in Wadebridge. One of them, well, they all exported internationally. I mean, Cornwall really was the centre of the world when you relied on shipping. And one of those firms won something like 16 gold medals at the Paris exhibition. So there was a real history of innovation in our town, and people are very proud of our town. So we were picking up on that local pride, and actually I think the history got a lot of people into the exhibition who wouldn't have come otherwise. Then we had a section on the present and about where our energy spend goes today. We spend about 13 million quid in our 3 local parishes on energy. We'd like some of it to stay with us. And then we presented people with options for this future. Should we generate more locally? Should we own our local generation? Should we develop a local energy market? Should we make sure that everybody gets to share in this, or should we just keep it for a few? And we did it very simply. We had 2 mechanisms. You could either fill in a form to tell us what you thought, or you could drop a red or a green counter into a box by each question. We had, over 48 hours, we had about 600 people come and visit the exhibition, and we, over a range of about 7 different questions, we had between an 84 and 95% level of approval, of agreement with the plans that we were putting forward. So we are hopeful that if in the future we go back with a large-scale project, that we will at least have done some of the groundwork to start a debate on a positive note and to garner approval from the rest of our community. Something else that I think is a really good thing to do and an important thing to do is to take part in things that people think are important. So, sorry, I've jumped on a bit ahead. No, the thing I wanted to talk about first was engaging with people who aren't necessarily the people who already think the same as you do. So we did an exhibition called 6 Green Shoots, which focused on 6 businesses in our town and looked at what they were doing to be green. And some of them really weren't doing much at all. Maybe they'd got a few energy-saving light bulbs and they recycled their waste. Others had 250 kilowatt solar arrays, had won Green Tourism Awards and all sorts of things. But the point is that everybody was doing something. And I think it's really important to celebrate and share information about what people are doing. And again, you know, that's 6 businesses. Everybody in town knows somebody from one of those 6 businesses and are interested in what they do. One good way of talking to people is by participating in things that they find interesting. And we have a carnival in town every summer, which attracts thousands of people. You didn't know that there were so many people in the town, but suddenly the streets are lined. And so the summer before last, we put on a carnival float, pulled, of course, by a renewably charged electric quad bike. We did workshops so that people could make their costumes. We wrote a song. And we got about 30 people engaged with it, and we printed some leaflets and gave those out while we went around, and we printed some stickers to give out to kids. And so in that way we were talking about insulation, not the most exciting thing in the world, but I reckon we probably reached about 3,000 people that way. And if I can, hurrah, I'm going to play you a song. The bad news is that I can't stop it now. This is going to go on playing forever. Okay, that's probably enough of that. The carnival circuit lasted for about an hour, so we played that song and sang along to it about 50 times as we went round town, and I think we were all singing it for about a month afterwards. That's pretty much all I've got to say. Has anybody got any questions?